how Mount Everest was born. Mount Everest is the world's highest mountain above sea level at 8,848 meters (29,029 feet) and once seemed insurmountable. The Himalayan ranges were thrust upward by tectonic action as the Indian-Australian plate moved northward from the south and was subducted, forced downward under the Eurasian plate following the collision of the two plates between about 40 and 50 million years ago. The Himalayas themselves started rising about 25 to 30 million years ago, and the Great Himalayas began to take their present form during the Pleistocene epoch about 2,600,000 to 11,700 years ago. Everest and its surrounding peaks are part of a large mountain massif that forms a focal point, or knot, of this tectonic action in the Great Himalayas. Information from global positioning instruments in place on Everest since the late 1990s indicates that the mountain continues to move a few inches to the northeast and rise a fraction of an inch each year. Let's take a look at some unknown things about Mount Everest. 1. Everest Day. Every year on May 29, we celebrate the Everest Day in remembrance of the first ascent of the world's highest peak by Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay Sherpa. Communities conduct small events and processions in the significant cities of Nepal. 2. The height of Mount Everest increases every year. According to one survey conducted, the height of Mount Everest increases every year by 4 mm. This happens due to the collision of the Indian-Australian and the Eurasian plates. Scientists experimented by mounting a GPS on a plateau below the summit. 3. What is the climbing season for Mount Everest? The top of Mount Everest is engulfed by the jet stream for a major part of the year, making climbing near impossible due to high winds and extreme sub-zero temperatures. It is only when the winds die down in May and again for a short period in September, that we have a so-called summit window, when conditions are safe enough for climbers to try and reach the summit. The other reason that climbers make summit attempts primarily in May and September is to avoid the harsh winter snows and summer monsoon rains. 4. Fastest ascents. For most climbers, reaching the summit takes several days with stops at various campsites to rest and recover along the way. But a few talented alpinists have been able to go from base camp to the summit in blazingly fast times, setting speed records in the process. For instance, the fastest time for an Everest summit from the south side in Nepal is currently held by Lakpa Jelu Sherpa, who in 2003 managed to go from BC to the top in just 10 hours and 56 minutes. Lakpa spent a few minutes on the summit enjoying his accomplishment before turning back, completing the round-trip journey in just 18 hours, 20 minutes. Meanwhile, on the north side in Tibet, the record stands at 16 hours and 45 minutes and was set by Italian mountaineer Hans Kammerlander back in 1996. 5. Who is the first man to climb Mount Everest? On 29 May 1953, Edmund Hillary, a New Zealand mountaineer, and Nepalese Sherpa mountaineer Tenzing Norgay became the first climbers to reach the summit of Mount Everest. They were part of the 9th British expedition to Everest, led by John Hunt. Hillary was named by Time as one of the 100 most influential people of the 20th century. 6. About 300 people have died on the mountain. The average death rate is about 4%. Most people died due to avalanches, falling into crevasses, and altitude sickness. And most of them died when descending. The bodies have been left on the mountain. The death zone is above 8,000 meters. The region above 8,000 meters, 26,247 feet, is called the death zone because of the lack of oxygen, coldness, and exhaustion for climbers. 7. Helicopter landing at Everest summit. Let's admit it, we've all thought about this at one point of our life. Why should we take all the long climbs and potential risks? Why can't we fly to the summit? Well, flying to Everest is not as easy as it sounds. The high altitude and thin air make it difficult for choppers to gain the required elevation. Also, the winds and turbulence at that altitude are terrible for aircraft. However, Didier Delsalle, a French pilot, became the first person to land at the summit using a helicopter. The chopper was an AS350 series of the Airbus family, and the developers stripped the helicopter down to make it compatible with the experiment. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon. Thanks for watching.